Hello and welcome to Outside In. My name is Steven, and today we're going to be looking at another air quality monitor comparison video. I just want to take a moment to show you this incredible case that I just completed. I've been working on this for over a week, for almost 2 weeks actually. Now I know it looks like a fish tank, but it's not. It is acrylic sheets, and then I cut them down because I needed something to be able to, like here, I added a door so I could inject bad air quality through matches, which is what we're going to do today. Also up here I have built-in switches because right over there, if you can see it, is a mini air purifier that I purchased to put in here for testing. And over here is a miniature ultrasonic humidifier. Now, the reason that I got the ultrasonic humidifier was because I found out something quite interesting. Because when I was talking to Roger about doing this review, I was asking him how I would go about creating particles. And he said, well, you could use an ultrasonic humidifier. And I was like, wow, really? The reason that I got this is because I wanted to show any of you out there who have an ultrasonic humidifier was that these put off a powder while they're working. So I wanted to show you that. Now I attached remote switches into these two devices so that I do not have to open this up during a test, so I don't contaminate the air that's in there. I have to say a great big thank you, Josh Sansone. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. If I'm not, please forgive me. But the reason I want to shout out to Josh Sansone is because without him, this video would never have happened. And the reason that I say that is because until Josh asked me in a comment, it would be good to be able to compare those monitors with the Dylos DC1100. Well, before Josh, I didn't even know what a Dylos was. So I went online and I started researching Dylos. I found their website. I contacted Dylos and I thought, you know what? It's not going to hurt to try. It's not going to hurt to ask. I was able to speak to the owner. His name is Roger. And Roger and I spoke for 45 minutes or something like that. I had asked him if they would be willing to send me one for review because I love doing air quality videos. And he said, yes, definitely. I would love to send you the Dylos 1100 Pro, but also he has another Dylos 1100 Pro cloud version. Now he sent me the PC version where you can connect it to your PC and record live data. And you can go back and review day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. But he also asked me if I would be willing to test the cloud version for him. Now, if you'll see, this here is the Dylos 1100 Pro. This is the Dylos 1100 Pro cloud version, which is not available to purchase yet. Now, this one shows temperature in Fahrenheit and relative humidity. This here on the Dylos 1100 Pro, the number on this side, on the left side, is 0.5 micron. This side over here registers 2.5. If you notice, see this little flashing light here? This meter goes all the way across. Now you'll see this go nuts when I start introducing bad air inside this case. When the meter just goes a little ways, it's registering small particles. Whenever it jumps all the way over here, it's registering large particles. The larger the particle, the farther the scale will come every time it registers a particle. Now I tried to set this camera so you can see all the monitors that are in here. Now I installed some lights last night to make it a little easier to see. The thing that we're going to be looking at in this video is the particulates, because that's what these two monitors register, particulates. Now this one also has a VOC function that gives you a VOC number for volatile organic compounds. This is the AirNight back here. These monitors right here are dedicated for temperature and humidity. Okay, this one right beside the AirNight is the HOFON. This here is the hot crim that says 0 on particle 2.5. This down here is a Timtop C10 for carbon dioxide. This here is the Timtop M10. This here is the AliExpress generic air quality monitor. It doesn't really have a name, so I included that in with this comparison as well. All right, now I'm going to turn on the ultrasonic humidifier, and I want you to pay attention to the particles on these devices, the PM2.5. Okay, here we go. After a few seconds, you should see some mist coming down over here. All right, now I'm not going to let this run too long because it won't take long. See, the particulate's going up already here. PM2.5 is going up, starting to go up on the air night. It's way up on the hot crim. It is way up on the Dylos. And 2.5 is going up on the AliExpress. So let me turn that off. As you can see, the ultrasonic humidifier created crazy particulates in this case. But I just wanted to show you that ultrasonic humidifiers put all particulates into your air. Okay, so now I'm going to turn on the purifier. And you probably saw that light come on the purifier. Now let's watch see how quickly the particulates start coming down. That purifier works pretty awesome. Okay, this one's already coming down. This one's coming down. Temp top is still coming down, but see how fast the hot crim is coming down to way below 100? It's dropping pretty quickly. The air night is just now below 100. The AliExpress is below 100. The Hofun is still above 100, but it's still coming down. It's coming down. This one's down to 26 or 25, 23. Temp top is down to 37. So the temp top also is pretty quick. The air night has dropped way down. The air purifier is still on, so that's why these numbers are still coming down. The air night is down to 14. Also, the CO2 is 815, 875, and 961. The one I trust the most is the smart sensor. I want to The reason I'm doing this is because I need to keep the numbers up as much as I can. So when I do the freeze frame, because I need to do calculations with this one to see how the other monitors compare with the Dylos. That says 18,000 and this is only 1,000. So that can't be right. The air night is pegged out, $9.99. The temp top is $9.99. The AliExpress is pegged out at $9.99. Now I like, the hot crim goes pretty high. Today I had it up to like 2,200 or so, 2,400. Beautiful. Hello? Okay, scam call. Yeah, see, I don't know. This is this is not giving me a good feeling inside. Wow, 25,000. That's supposed to be doing the calculation for micrograms per cubic meter. All right, so now let's turn the purifier back on and see if we can get those numbers down. Okay, temp top still pegged out, air night still pegged out, AliExpress still pegged out. All right, now this one's down to 460. The hot crim it's pretty quick to respond. Yeah, I am not liking the numbers on that cloud version there. That is not micrograms per meter square. I have no idea what that is. That is not supposed to be registering like that. See, because this is registering like this one, and it's supposed to be showing micrograms per meter square. Wait a minute. You know what? That's, oh man, I didn't have it on the right mode. There it is. Oh, I had it set on the wrong setting. All right, now it's set on PM2.5, but it looks like it's going to give a VOC index instead of temperature and humidity, which I don't care about temperature and humidity on any of these devices. That's why I have a dedicated temperature and humidity. So let's do another test then. I had that set wrong. All right. Now let's see what the cloud does. The Pro version comes reading only per cubic foot. The cloud version does cubic foot, but it also does, which I didn't have it set on. That was my mistake. Unfortunately, Roger did not send me a manual for this. The manual that he sent me for this is exactly the same manual for this. So I don't have any instructions on this. So I guess this is 2.5 and this is 10. I don't know. And this side over here on this Dylos 1100 Pro is small particulates, 0.5. This side is 2.5. But remember, it's reading per cubic foot. All right, this is down to 130, still way up there. 223. See, this one's coming down very fast, which I really thought that this one was going to come down really fast as well, but it's not. I don't like those numbers because actually last night I was doing some testing with this, with the math that Roger gave me. And it was, I was testing it with the Tim Top. And every time I did the calculation, it was pretty much right with the Tim Top, which definitely would not be with this one. So I do not, this is supposed to be doing the calculation automatically, but it doesn't look to me like it is. But we're going to test that when I do a freeze frame comparison. So now we're down to 2 on this, 7 on this one, the AliExpress, 5 on the Tim Top, 6 on the Hofun, still at 22 on the Air Night. What we're going to do now is we need to go to the computer and we need to play back some of this footage so I can freeze frame, do the calculation, because with the Dylos DC 1100 Pro, you will have to do calculations for particulates. Now there is a chart on the back of this unit that you can follow, but if you want to know the PM 2.5 equivalent, I will show you how to do that and I will show you the calculation. I created a spreadsheet to do the calculation for me, so all I have to do is put in these two numbers and then we can compare with the others. And I want to compare with the cloud version as well, because to me that did not look like it was doing the correct calculation for PM 2.5 that Roger told me. And when I was using it last night, it was working great with this. According to this, it was pretty close. So we're going to now go to the computer and I'm going to test. Okay, now this is going to be the freeze frame comparison, but first I want to show you, if you buy the Dylos 1100 Pro, you can go to the Dylos website and download the Dylos Logger program, and that will allow you to connect your device to your PC, and then you can record live data with your device. And this here is a capture of 12 days, and you can select how you want to view your information, all at one time, or you can go all the way down to 10 minutes at a time, 10 minutes per screen. But I'm going to show you, if I go down to 1 day at a time, this is a whole 24-hour period right here. And then you can use this scale slider here to move through each day. And if you watch up here as you're sliding, it shows you what day that you're currently on. So, and each one of these tick marks would represent a day. So Tuesday, November 15th, and then if we go down to the next mark, Monday, November 14th, then we can go all the way to the beginning, Monday, November 7th, and then you can view, and this is military time, so this would be 12:20, 12:39, 1:17 a.m., 1:36. If you have spikes, then you can look at your spike and follow it down to the time of the day to see where a problem may be. And then you can just scroll through and you see spikes here, another spike here at around 4:15 p.m. on Tuesday, November 8th. And then you can remember what you were doing then or what was going on to cause these spikes. So this is a pretty cool program to be able to review your recorded data. I do see here that it has where you can display a period. The 3 weeks is the farthest it goes. So that may be, 3 weeks may be the cutoff, but the more data that you record, the longer it's going to take to load that data. And then up here, you can choose a line graph, you can choose an area, which is what we were just on, 2D bar graph, 3D bar graph, 2D combination, 3D combination, and or you can go by steps. Now we can show the legend, which is what the red was going to be the large particles. The blue area is going to be all the small particles that has been detected. You can turn off and only show the large particles, or you can show small particles as well. And then you can turn off large and only show small. So yeah, I have a lot of versatility with the program. So I just wanted to show you that. Also, once they make the cloud version public and you are able to purchase it, you can go on Google Play Store and download the Dylos app for your cell phone and record data with your cell phone. Okay, so on your cell phone, you'd be seeing the scale 2.5 micrograms per cubic meter and PM10 micrograms per cubic meter. You also have an air quality monitor page where you can review the AQI. You can see your AQI, your temp, relative humidity, and the VOC index, and particle size distribution. Particle concentration that would be greater than 2.5 and greater than 0.5. So your large and your small particulates over time. Then you have another screen that just shows the numbers instead of a graph. PM 2.5, PM 10. You have to sign up for an account to get the app. It doesn't cost anything. There is no monthly fees. So anyway, that is the app that you would need for your cell phone to use with the cloud version of the monitor. I created this spreadsheet because this is the calculation that you would do with the Dylos DC1100 Pro. You would take your small particles on the left side of the screen, and then you would subtract the large particles on the right side of the screen, and then you would take that number and divide that by 100, and that will give you the equivalent of PM 2.5. So that's how we're going to compare the Dylos 1100 Pro with the other monitors. So let's get to the video and start our freeze frame.
Hello and welcome to Outside
So
In.
what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fast forward to that part. All right, let's do a freeze frame right now and test this part. All right, now this is 837. So let's put 837 on the small particles. The large particles is 10, and it is saying that a PM 2.5 equivalent should be 8. So the hot crim is showing 10. The HOFUN is showing 13. The Air Night is showing 18. And the AliExpress is showing 6. The TimTop M10 is showing 8. Exactly. Wow. Okay. All right, so now let's move on. Okay, now we got some bigger numbers going on here. So let's try this again and see if the TimTop, which one is closest this time. So the small particulates would be 26,435. The large particulates would be 189, and that would be 262. The Air Night has 279. The hot crim is saying 213. TimTop is saying 284. The AliExpress is saying 215. The HOFUN is showing looks like 265. So it looks like on that one the HOFUN was the closest with that reading. All right, let's continue on. And okay, now we're at 30,000. So now this is before I realized that I had this set wrong. This one is saying 26,000. This one is saying 30,000. This one is saying 120 on the large. This one's saying 464. So quite a bit difference in these two. 26,769, 26,769, and 417. 264 is the magic number. All right, let me see if I can move this over so we can see that number. Right, okay, 264. 164. Wow, that is way off on the Air Night on that one. That evidently got cut up in the middle of the frame. 153. 264, that is way off on that one. 236, 194. So it looks like the HOFUN is the closest again. All right, let's move forward. 15,339. 15,339 by 71, and that should be 153 on the PM 2.5, 153. The air night is saying 60 from 153. Wow. The hot crim is saying 39. Temp top is saying 51. HOFUN is 140, and the AliExpress is saying 75. So again, the HOFUN is saying what the Dylos is saying. Interesting. I have to say interesting. All right, so, well, okay, anyway. Okay, now these are, okay, these two are closer now. Okay, 65, 21 by 19. And it's saying 65. Okay, that air night is saying 25. Hot crim is saying 18. HOFUN is saying 62. AliExpress is saying 35. Temp top is saying 32. And wow, again, the HOFUN. All right, okay. I don't know what to say about this. The HOFUN keeps winning over these other monitors. Okay. All right, now we're going to move over into where I finally figure out that I have my cloud version set wrong. And then we're going to compare. All right, now let's try this one. 9790, 9790, and 434. 434. That's saying it should say 94 on the PM 2.5. The air night is showing 74. The hot crim is showing 32. Temp top is showing 54. HOFUN is showing 78. But look at this. The cloud is saying 146. So again, the HOFUN comes closer than any of the other monitors, even the cloud version of the Dylos. All right, so let's skip forward. Let's try this one. 29,599. 29,599. And 21,000, wow, 21,494. So it should say 81 on the particulate. Air night is close at 75. Hot crim is, wow, 452. The AliExpress is 52. The HOFUN is, it looks like 68. So the air night was closer that time. But see, it's saying 81 according to the math, but this one over here, the cloud version, is 165. Okay, let's try this number. 21,427. 21,427 and 43,711. 43,711. And we're at a negative. So I'm guessing then that that calculation is not always going to work, because I don't know how to take, because Roger never told me anything about what happens when I end up with a negative number. So if Roger sees this video, maybe he can leave a comment and let us know. All right, let's see. Let's try this number. 42,017. 42,017. 6954. That should give us a positive number of 351. So PM 2.5, 351. The air night says 198. HOFUN is 221. Hot crim is 57. Temp top is 99. AliExpress is 188. And the cloud version of the DC 1100 Pro is 536. Wow, that is a huge difference. That's more than 200 counts in difference. The air night is closer to this number than this is. The HOFUN is much closer to this than this is, and it's closer than air night. The AliExpress also is closer to this than this is. So we're getting some pretty interesting readings here. All right, 31,657 and 3890. 3890 would be 278. See, 142, 46. Look at that, 433, 278. That is a humongous difference. And this is supposed to be PM 2.5 micrograms per cubic meter. This one is 79. This was 121, the AliExpress. This is 184 for the HOFUN. So the HOFUN, well, wins again. It's closer again. Let's get these numbers down to where, okay, now this one is showing 0. All right, so let's see what this is going to say. The PM 2.5 would be 749, and 34 would be 7. So that's 0. This says 11.7. This says 5. This says 5. This says 4. So which one was the closest? HoFun and AliExpress were the closest to this Dylos 1100 Pro. So I mean, these numbers are jumping from second to second, so they're constantly, so that's why a freeze frame is not really a great way of doing this, but it was, unfortunately, it's the only way that I can do this video, because this monitor here does not show what these others do. So I have to do a calculation. And when these numbers are going, like right now it's saying 749. Let's see what it is. Just a couple seconds later, it's down to 242. So it's nearly impossible to try to do a calculation. And then once you've got the calculation figured out, then all of these are way below what this was when you did the calculation. That's why I needed to do a freeze frame. This is basically just giving us a general idea. The HoFun keeps winning. All of these monitors are pretty close to each other, except for this cloud version. This thing is way off from the other monitors, and also from this. But like I said, it's because just in 2 seconds that dropped over 300 points on that small particulates there. So let's put in that number, 242 and 11. And it's saying 2. This is saying 4.3. This is Air90 is saying 17. Hotcrem is still saying 0. Timtop is saying 2. AliExpress saying 2. HoFun saying 2. These monitors, this is agreeing exactly with DC 1100 Pro. The cloud version of the DC 1100 Pro is close enough. If we go back to where this is showing per cubic feet, this one is also showing per cubic feet with temperature and humidity. The temperature 77, 72, 72, 72, 75, 74. So okay, not bad. 56% humidity. This is 50. This is 49. This is 50. But here's the thing though. Look at that. 64.82, 73.90, 30 and 13. That is a huge difference from one device to the other. Okay, just a couple seconds before, 59, 39, 45.97, 34, and 11. A big, huge difference. A few more seconds back, 28.49, 15.86. So again, a huge difference between these two devices that are detecting exactly the same thing. 961 and 7, 1837 and 11. So a huge difference again. Few seconds earlier, 635 and 6, 1230 and 11. A huge difference again. These are very far off from one another. Not sure why that is, because they're right next to one another in the same little case. It's such a closed space. That's why I do this like this. It's hard to compare a bunch of monitors in an open room, because when they're sitting on the table right here and then there's another one sitting right here, there's going to be a huge difference in the particulates right here as opposed to right here, because of this big room. In this tiny little closed sealed space, air particulates get scattered around, and they are pretty much the same everywhere. Not going to be a whole lot of difference. So yeah, almost 300 points difference there again. So yeah, 575, 826, almost 300 difference there. 548, 790. 498, 740, 415, 687. Now I don't use these monitors 24 hours a day. I usually only bring them out when I do a video. But I did leave these running for a number of hours before I did this video yesterday. And I've been up all night, and it's now after 5 a.m. Okay, so, well, there you go. Yeah, there you go. So that's going to do it, I believe. All right, now I'm going to tear these down so you can see inside them. This here is the Dylos 1100 Pro. This is the Dylos 1100 Pro cloud version. I've already had this one apart, so I'm going to take this one apart first, and let's see what we have inside. Okay, now this is the PC version of the Dylos 1100 Pro. It has a serial connection here to go to the computer, but you would need, this does not come with a USB to serial that you will need, so you will have to order that separate if you buy this device to be able to connect it to your PC. So let's see if we can get in this thing. That was pretty simple. Okay, so here's what we have. Have a fan, and let's zoom in. Here is the laser to detect particles. There's no mount here. It's just laying in this plastic piece, and then it's glued in. So I'm assuming that will be fine over time. I'm not sure. If that glue ever come loose, then that laser would definitely be off or not even be able to register at all. So yeah, I don't know why they did that. The cloud version is exactly the same. That's one of the first things I noticed when I took the cloud version apart, was that this is not even mounted. It's just glued in there. And then there's the little mirror. Laser reads the particles as they go by. This here is the display board. This is the main board. And then on the other side of this is just connections for the buttons to work on the front of the device. It's pretty simple, pretty basic. You have your connection here for the serial pin to USB connect. Okay, so I guess that's it. There's not much to tour there. So there you go. That's the inside. All right, so let's just put this back together then, because like I said, that's it. There's nothing else to see other than on the back of the unit there is an air quality chart that 0 to 75 is excellent, 75 to 150 is very good, but this is for the small count reading. They don't have a chart on here for the large count. This is just for the small counts. So anytime you're above 3,000 on the small, you have very poor air quality according to this chart. So let's finish putting this back together. This is the monitor that is not available to the public yet, but Roger's hoping to have it up soon for purchase. Listen to that thing rattle. But we're going to see why that's rattling and what is rattling in there. Okay, just like the other one, this pops off pretty quickly. And there is what is rattling. This development board is not mounted, it's just rattling around in there. So, and I looked this up online, and it's basically like an Arduino, like an Adafruit type board. It's just a development board for programming a device. This, let's zoom in. This is the laser for reading the particulates, and I believe this would be obviously the power supply probably for the laser. Just like the other monitor, this does not look to be mounted, it's just glued in. So again, I'm not sure the longevity of that. Okay, and then the chip for reading. This here, I took this apart because I could not find a VOC sensor in here at all, even though this says it does VOCs. So what I did was I ended up taking this out just to see what it was. So let's take it out. Now I don't know, hopefully I can zoom in enough so you can see this. Zoom in some more and keep it in focus. Okay, there we go. Alright, now, I don't know if you can see that, because I'm looking in here when I first took this out, and I was still trying to figure out what in the world is this? So I went online and I used my super powerful magnifying glass to read the number on this little dirt speck here. It looks like a speck of dirt, but it's not. That is the temperature and humidity sensor. Over here, SGP40, that turns out that this is the VOC sensor for indoor air quality monitors. So there you go. That's the VOC, and that is the temperature and humidity sensor. And that's it for this one. Very simple. This has a scale on it. Now this monitor is for cubic per foot. So that's what you would use this chart for, to know whether you have good or bad air quality. Also, I'm just not real thrilled at that rattle. Doesn't sound very good to me, but I guess you're not going to be out running around with it. Okay, here's a point I wanted to make with this. Since I've had this, and I had something happen that a few days ago when I walked by these two monitors sitting on the table. I accidentally brushed up against this one here, and it fell off the table and fell into the floor, dropped about 3.5 feet. As soon as it hit the floor, I picked it up and it was rattling horribly. And I was like, oh my goodness, I busted it. But the case is not broken anywhere that I could see. So that's when I took this apart, and this is what I found was rattling. See that fan in there? There is absolutely nothing holding that fan from coming apart. This fan blade just pops into a little plastic hole, and that's all. And when it hit the floor, it jarred it enough to pop the blade off, and the blade was just flopping around in there, the fan blade. And it was real loud, much louder than what this is. So I just put the fan blade, popped it back in, and it seems to work fine now. But that's just what I wanted to point that out, because in case you have one of these and you end up dropping it and you think that you've broken it, that's a lot of money to pay. And if it's rattling really bad, I just say take yours apart. More than likely, all that's happened is the fan blade popped off and it's just laying in there rattling around. So you just put the fan blade back over the little round plastic piece and pop it back in. And then that's it. So there you go. Hard plastic. The buttons for controlling it. Okay, this is the DC1100 Pro Cloud version. Let's zoom in here. Okay, right now, this is set on the default value, which is per cubic foot. And this is the small particulates, and this is the large particulates. I did get a manual that came with this, but it wasn't for this. The manual was for the DC1100 Pro. So it has absolutely zero information in the manual about this device. So I'm only guessing at how this operates by playing around with it. If you click on the mode button, it's kind of finicky. You press it and then it just decides what to do. So you have, okay. Yeah, it doesn't give any chance to think about anything. All right, now at your main screen, let me see if I can do this. Press the mode button, Wi-Fi status mode. Press select to reset Wi-Fi. Select, reset, wait, config here. Until they come up with a manual for this, I don't know how it works. Mask task mode, what that is, I'm not real sure because there's no information about it. And it has a select a baseline. Also, not sure what that's for either because, like I said, they did not send me a manual for this particular device. Set correction, something. I guess you can correct the PM factor. Again, I'm only assuming that because there is no manual for this. If you want to switch between the small and large, like the Pro does, the standard version of the Pro, it should come on defaultly at that setting. And if you want to use micrograms per cubic meter, PM 2.5 and PM 10, hit the select button, changing info to PM 10, PM 2.5 and 10. So I'm assuming, again, I have no manual, so I'm not sure, but I'm assuming because of what it just said, this side is PM 2.5, this side is PM 10, but I'm not sure. I'm just guessing at that. This here is a VOC index. I'm not real sure if this is for the VOC number or for the PM 2.5. This is not very specific. I know more than 250 is very bad for PM 2.5 microgram per cubic meter. So I'm not sure if that's what this chart is for. But anyway, there it is. Hit the select button again. I guess you have to keep messing with it. All right, now it's changing back to 0.5 and 2.5. Small particulate, large particulate. Button doesn't work very well, does it? Change it to PM2 and 10, 2.5 and 10. So I guess this now on this mode is 0.5 and 2.5. 2.5. PM2, 5, and 10. PM 2.5 and PM 10. VOC index. Hit it again. Whenever it decides it wants to work. 0.5, 2.5. And then that one shows the temperature and humidity. So this is the per cubic foot one. That's right. This is per cubic foot. Small particulates, large particulates. Okay. All right. And then that's it for that. And then press the power button to turn it off. Okay. Let's look at the standard. Turn that on. It's on continuous mode. Now this one here has the meter, but the cloud version does not have the meter. Okay, this is a small particulates over here, large particulates. This is the meter. Every time it moves like that, flashes like that, it's detecting particles. When it's down here, it's detecting small particles. When it goes way over here, it's detecting large particles. So the larger the particle, the more that meter will peg over to this side. All right, let's see what happens when we press mode button. Monitor mode. Now it's just on monitor mode. So I'm assuming that's just monitoring information and it's not showing anything. Minute history. 1 minute ago. 4 minutes ago, that was the reading. 5 minutes ago, 6. Hour history. 1 hour ago, time break. 2 hours ago. And it's showing what the reading was. 5 hours ago, that was the reading. Okay, let's go. Day history. 1 day ago, time break. 2 days ago, no data. 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. Clear history. So you can view a little limited amount of information on the device itself. It's better to be able to plug it right into the computer, and there you go. And that's that. What I wish that Roger would have sent me was the Dylos 1700 PM version, because the 1700 PM version is battery operated for one thing, and also it is microgram per cubic meter. The PM 1700 is the one that they really should have sent me, because I would have not had to go through all that time doing calculations to show what the PM 2.5 value was. I could have hooked it up to the PC. I could have recorded history for several days. That would have been fun. But anyway, who knows? Maybe they will end up sending me the 1700. I can send these back to them and they can just send me the 1700 and let me have a go at that one and see if that one is any better. All right, so that's it. Now back to the show. Okay, that was a pretty interesting testing there. Now that I have this case, I love it. I'm loving this case. So if there's anything that you would love to see me test inside this case with air quality monitors, or, well, it doesn't, whatever. Anything that you would like to see that you've thought about, you've wondered about, but just don't have any way to test it yourself, please leave a comment below and I will do my best to create a video, because I'm loving this case. I really like this case a lot. I got a fan also I built into the top of it, an exhaust fan. So this ultrasonic humidifier, I'm so glad that I found out the information I did about it, because I know that a lot of people that use ultrasonic humidifier probably don't even know that they're putting out particulates into your air. And if for some reason your monitors are going nutty and you can't figure out why, probably more than likely is why that is happening. So that is really good information to know. And I'm so thankful that I was able to find that out about the ultrasonic humidifiers putting off a powder residue in the air. But like I said, I did lots and lots of research, and several scientific sites that I found said the same thing, that not enough scientific data has been collected as of yet for ultrasonic purifier particulate to make a determination if what or how much is harmful, if at all. Just thought I'd put that out there. That's why I got this humidifier. That purifier over there, that is working beautifully. I really love all these monitors. For me anyhow, the AirNight is my favorite simply because it's got a beautiful screen, easy to read. All the other monitors are still working great. Thank you so much for stopping by. I truly hope that you've got something out of this. Anyone that's thinking about the Dylos, you make that decision. At this very moment, I can't say I recommend or not recommend because I haven't done the freeze frame comparison yet and the calculations. All right, I guess that's it. Okay, so I'm going to end the way I always do. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, find someone that needs a reason to go on and give them that reason. God bless us everyone, and I will see you in the next one.